Okay, hello everybody. Uh, kind of a different change up in the background. I thought maybe this would be kind of a nice bit of a change up, as opposed to just the regular old couch that's over there. Because I did get my new couch moved in last weekend on the long weekend of the 31st. So yeah, I'll try to switch around, and now I got to fix my chair because that broke on me the other week, and yeah, I haven't really had the time to actually sit down and talk about the stuff that I want to review. So today's first review that I'm going to be recording is going to be of Arcane, the show based on the very popular game League of Legends. So this was actually the animation was top notch in the show, just to start off first, and surprisingly, everything just meshed so well together with the show. I feel like the animation was great. The way they brought the characters to life. I've never actually really played the game, but now I'm kind of going back and watching the show for a second time. I am more than interested in actually going and playing the game and kind of learning more what it's about because I know the character, I guess you could say the main character of the game, Jinx, has kind of become a very popular staple in like the video gaming community. So she's very well known. So I am waiting for whenever the second season is going to come out. I would imagine probably sometime like early next year, I would think. Because well, the first season came out the end of 2021, so we might be waiting till the end of 2023 to be completely honest. But yeah, so this is kind of like an origin story, I would say, for Jinx as to how she becomes Jinx. And yeah, that was definitely kind of, I think, more what the first season was surrounded around, was how she actually becomes Jinx in the end of it all, and how her sister kind of betrays her and leaves her there after she's finally able to make her weapons work in, I think, was it the second or third episode where she finally is able to make them work with the power of the jewels or whatever that Hextech is using in order to, I guess their original mission was to help. Yeah, what was the original point? The original mission was to, oh, I guess, help cure people, and there was something else in there too that I'm absolutely forgetting, and it's going to bug me now. But anyway, it ends up being that they end up having to create weapons, obviously, to protect them from the Undercity, or so they think. But yeah, Silco is basically the runner of the Undercity after he ends up killing uh, Vi and oh my God, what was her name? I had it in my head too. Before she was Jinx, she was. Oh, I remembered it upstairs too. Oh my God, it's gonna. Oh, come on, it'll come back to me. Oh, damn, I'm gonna have to look that up now. Come on, maybe it says it here. Oh, Powder, that was it. Before she was Jinx, she was known as Powder, but she took on the name Jinx, obviously, uh, at the very end of the show, or at the very end of the season, because this is the season one review, technically. Um, so yeah, she ended up taking on the name Jinx at the end of the show when she felt that her sister didn't really come back for her, and was just kind of doing it for her own personal gain. And she keeps seeing things that obviously aren't there because she's gone kind of mad over the years, um, due to being manipulated by Silco, obviously, and probably having to deal with everything the Undercity throws at you, I would imagine, was kind of wild. And yeah, she's obviously being uh, drugged or whatever when she almost dies in the one episode. She's whatever the scientist there brings her back to life with, um, whatever serum or whatever I think it is. Yeah, because I Silco uses it too on himself, or tries to keep it out of himself so that he doesn't go crazy, I guess, maybe. Um, because when he was drowned by his best friend, where is he here? He was drowned by his best friend. What was his best friend's name? Was it Marcus? No, that couldn't have been it. Jace was the leader of Hextech. Victor. Which one was Victor? I'm trying to think of who Victor was now. See, I had all the faces in my head. Oh no, Victor was the person who was helping Jace with Hextech. And Vander, that was their father. Vander was their father. Or at least their father figure. Now, he might have been their actual father, but I think he also might have just been like a father figure to them. I can't quite remember whether he was their biological father. Oh, I guess he was, because they talked about their... Oh no, that's not right, because in their very first episode, their actual parents died, so yeah, Vander was the one that took care of them, and then Silco ends up killing Vander. It's like I'm trying to remember the show for myself. Yeah, Silco ends up killing Vander in the one episode because he uses some junky guy to get him all juiced up on whatever he's giving him. And then, yeah, Vander ends up taking himself and ends up killing himself because he just was overwhelmed by the power of it, I guess. And, yeah, and then Powder ends up killing two of Vi's friends, and then she says, "Oh my God, you were a jinx," so on and so forth. And that's when she decides to kind of, I guess, go her separate way. And then Vi ends up getting put in jail, and she spends so long there, and then she's trying to search for Powder to, I guess, bring her back because she's trying to show that she actually did care about her sister. But by that point, I think the kind of bridge had been burned in as far as Jinx was concerned, because at this point she really had truly become Jinx. And I'm glad she did kill Silco, but I almost feel like she was somehow manipulated into it a little bit. And I'm trying to remember, oh, Caitlyn was the one that was with Vi that was helping her try to find her sister, and also obviously bring back the jewels or whatever to the upper city. So the whole city is called Piltover. So they have like the, I guess, was it called High City and then the Underground? Yeah, High City and then the Underground. I think that was it. And then obviously we have the council that is supposed to decide on everything, right? And Jace is kind of putting, or like, Jace is kind of bringing like a new twist to the council with some of the ideas he puts forth. And obviously it wasn't all on his own. He did it with the help of Mel. Yeah, I believe it was Mel Medarda. That was the one that was the younger girl. And then I can't remember her mother's name. Maybe it was Savika? I'm trying to remember. And then Echo was the one that was a kid, and he was supposed to be like the boy's savior or whatever when he grew up. And he has a fight with Jinx and almost ends up dying in the process. He got very lucky to escape from that, I would say. And then obviously when Jinx or Jace and Vi are teaming up in the underground to try to take down Silco's compounds or whatever, where he's kind of mass producing the stuff that he gives all the people to keep them, I guess, kind of keep them loyal to him, because obviously if there's junkies, they're going to want to constantly drugged up, right? So he keeps giving them this serum or whatever that he's created. And when Victor was young, he was actually working with the scientist that brought back Jinx, and I guess the scientist ends up kind of killing the lizard that they were trying to take care of by giving it this injection. Yeah, I wish I could remember what the injection was called, but it's been like almost over a week since I've seen the show, so I'm surprised I'm even remembering this much of it. But yeah, the fight scenes were super cool. And then the one girl that was working with Vander that ends up betraying Vander and going to work for Silco after Vander dies, that was kind of shady of her, but her and Vi end up getting into a couple fights, and I'm pretty sure Vi ends up killing her in the end, or pretty close to it anyway. I can't quite remember. But yeah, Silco is trying to gain independence for the Undercity, and I think he pretty much has succeeded because he's made some sort of deal with Jace for independence. And yeah, I believe he actually does get it at the very end, and then when Jinx goes nuts there at the end and captures Caitlyn and tries to get Vi to decide which seat she's going to sit in, and then eventually Jinx just chooses for herself and claims herself as Jinx finally, and then uses her, is it like the shark launcher or whatever she uses, to launch a rocket up to the council room where they're all sitting. So that's where the first season ends. So kind of a very crazy ending to a very chaotic show, but yeah, the animation again was really good. The fight scenes were really well done. They could have done maybe a touch more on a couple of them where they actually showed a slight bit more of the fights. But I think there was just so much animation going into this show that maybe they just wanted to take a step back for some scenes and just be like, oh my God, we've done so much for one that the second one can kind of be a little bit I don't know, laid back compared to the first one, I suppose. But yeah, I gave the show a 10 out of 10. I think it deserves that. I hope I've done a good enough review of the show because I feel like it should be. If you're a fan of the game, um, obviously I think this is, from what I've read anyway, most of the people who played the game liked it, and if they didn't really like it, they said it's a very good adaptation for people who haven't played the game to kind of be more introduced to the characters. And I think that's kind of important because I think that will bring a whole new audience to the game. Now, some gamers hate that, and some other people are like, wow, well, yeah, now we have even more. I believe the developers of the game are probably like, holy shit, now we have more people coming into play, and this is just awesome for us because this is what we wanted in the beginning anyway. So some of the main voices I can go over. Haley Steinfeld plays Vi. Kevin Alejandro plays Jace. Jason Spizak plays Silco and Pim, but I can't remember which one Pim was. Oh, and then, yeah, I forgot about Jace kicking out Heimendinger from the council, saying that he should be retired or whatever, and then Heimendinger has to go down to the Undercity and live there, I guess, for a while because he's no longer wanted. Who else? Harry Lloyd played Victor. Cokes Alagund Alagundoy. That, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Played Mel Murata, who was the girl that was with Jace, and then JB Black played Vander and Bulbach, but I can't remember which one Bulbach was. And then Katie Lung played Caitlyn. Ella Purnell played Jinx, or voiced Jinx, I guess, and Mia Sinclair Janess voiced Powder, so the younger, before she became Jinx sort of thing. And yeah, I believe that was it, except for Reed Shannon playing Echo and the Firelight Leader when he grows up and doesn't see Vi for a long time and ends up capturing them both and so on and so forth. But yeah, I gave this show a 10 out of 10, and it already got a 9 out of 10, so it already got a super high rating. So I feel like Netflix is probably going to take their time on this and do it properly for a second season because I think they're really investing a lot of their time into The Witcher right now, because I believe the third season comes out, yeah, this fall. So they're probably working on this, and I would imagine they're probably working on The Witcher right now because that seems to be their two biggest projects. And I feel like if Netflix was smart, because they've kind of been getting a lot of backlash lately for higher prices, and they are kind of the infamous ones for canceling a lot of shows after the first season, just based on the fact that they don't think it did well, despite people being pumped up about the show or it didn't get enough views or whatever. But I mean, if it's a brand new show and you don't advertise it well, it's never going to get any traction, right? So I feel like, yeah, it just sucks for some of the shows that I wanted to watch, and I'm like, oh, now they only have one season, and it's like, oh, that could have been the show could have had so much potential, but they end up just getting canceled or taken over by another streaming service. So sometimes it sucks, but I guess it is what it is. I guess if they don't feel like it's going to do any better in a second season, I guess kind of why continue it on. But I don't know. I just feel like you should probably just, once you've signed on for a show, you should probably just do the seasons and see where it takes you, because you never know. Um, Not everything is going to be just boom popular right off the hop, right? Like sometimes you actually have to take the time and put in the work, which I think this show definitely exceeded the expectations of a lot of people. Um, so yeah, and it was cool to see Imagine Dragons doing the theme song, and it actually fit with the show, and them being animated into the show in one of the episodes and doing the theme song in the show. So yeah, really cool, and kudos to them for taking the time and actually putting the effort into the show. And I think it was obviously well received by audiences, because a lot of it just seems, a lot of shows these days just kind of seem like they're cookie cutter and they could have been just a little bit better. But hey, that's just my opinion, and I guess I will see you guys on the next review. Bye bye for now.